From weddings to naming ceremonies and owambes, from Christmas through Easter and Salah, there is a unifying element to the myriad of celebrations that the beautiful people of East and West Africa partake in: the Ankara. It is the most African fabric out there. Will you believe me if I told you that Ankara did not originate from Ghana, Nigeria, or even Africa? Well, join me as I walk you through a brief history of what has come to be known as African fabric. The history of the Ankara dates back to the 19th century and to Indonesia in specific. The Indonesians were known to have employed a unique method of using wax-resist dyeing to create patterned fabric, which they call batik. There is a consensus among historians that this technique originated from the island of Java. To make a batik, selected areas of the design are blocked out by applying hot wax over them. The dye is applied on the top, and the part covered in the wax resists the dye and remains the original color. A simple batik may be just one layer of wax and one dye, but waxing and dyeing can be repeated many times if necessary to create more elaborate and colorful designs. After the final dyeing, the wax is removed and the cloth is ready to be worn or displayed. While Ankara originated in Southeast Asia, the story of how it got to the shores of West Africa cannot be told without the colonization of the region by the Dutch in the 1600s. Following a surge in the demand for cotton, a Dutch businessman, Pieter Venter van Wisselgen, mechanized the method used to make prints on batiks in 1846. His company, Visico, initially made the fabric specifically for the Indonesian market in the hope that it would outsell the handmade ones. Still, it did not sell there, partly because the handmade ones were made of superior quality, and the uniqueness could not be replicated because of mass production. The fabric was introduced into West Africa in the 1900s through Ghana, and it was love at first sight. Following the ouster of many colonial masters in Africa and the subsequent independence that followed in the 1960s and 1970s, the Ankara fabric became a symbol of African independence and identity. Since African craftsmen adopted and later perfected the art of Ankara, it was encouraged by most West African leaders like Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah as a way of boosting the local textile industry. Ankara, the African fabric, would then go on to enjoy more popularity as it became a status symbol among African men and women. The meeting uniforms of the Zumuntan Mata and the Catholic women organizations provide ample examples of how far the fabric, once unknown in this part of the world, has eaten into the fashion culture in this part of the world. The Ankara is now not only an identity, it is an identifier of social class, a marker of occasions, and the de facto African fabric. Popular brands of Ankara include the Hollandaise, the Viva, and the Dutch printworks. Today, Ankara fabric is used in modern African fashion and exported to other parts of the world. The fabric is famous for making dresses, skirts, shirts, and accessories, and it is available in a wide range of colors and patterns. Ankara fabric has become a symbol of African culture and heritage, and it continues to inspire fashion designers worldwide. The story of Ankara is not just the story of a fabric, it is the story of how a culture evolves by interactions with different people and different other cultures. Just like the John Donne said, no man is an island, no culture is an island. We are all developing and changing as we interact with different cultures. So when next you encounter a different culture, treat it with respect, for it may influence your culture in ways that you cannot predict today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share this with your friends. Till I see you again, bye bye.